Good morning and welcome to Bolton. My name is Josh Kelly. I'm the administrative officer here in town. And today I am very excited to present to you an esteemed guest, Pam Sawyer, who currently is acting in the role of chairperson, co-chairperson of the Bolton 300th Committee, but in the past has held a number of different roles in town, perhaps most notably as our district state representative in the past. But welcome, Pam. Thank you for being here today.
You're most welcome.
And today we're going to talk all about the 300th. It's 2020. We're already in the second month. I can't believe it's flying by as quickly as it is. But I'm very glad that you have had the chance to come on down and talk to our viewers a little bit about what they can expect to see in the next 11 months.
Well, we've had a great time. The selectmen came forward and asked myself and Matt Raitt if we would be co-chairman for the 300th anniversary, and we said absolutely. And what we were able to do was, over the past year and a half, was talk to varying groups in town and ask them what they'd like to do. Excellent. Going forward and asking community members, what is it that means something to you? We've had some real fun in finding some people who were active in the 250th anniversary. Somebody that has a T-shirt from the 275th, and he says it's time for a new T-shirt. You know, the great things that you find out. And then going back and refreshing my memory on some of the history books that we have in town that are available at our library. You know, you can get a sense that Bolton has had quite a roller coaster since before 1720.
Absolutely.
And the Native American population before that, and its division with our wonderful Bolton Notch between different peoples of the Native American peoples. So, you know, we have legends, we have historical homes, we have school groups that are very keen on doing some great things.
Excellent. And we're going to be covering all of those different events that are coming up very soon. But first, I would like to kick it off with, what can you tell us about yourself? I know I mentioned a few things up front, but what other things are you involved with outside of the 300th around town, just to help fill in some of the residents who are joining us for the first time today?
Well, it just makes me laugh because most people don't even know that there's a Bolton Board of Assessment Appeals.
There's that, yes.
Of which I am on, and blessed to have been elected to be on that. I'm also a Justice of the Peace, and I've performed over 230 weddings over the years since 1985.
Yep.
Rick and I, my husband and I, have been in town since 1978. Raised two children here. One is now raising her family here, so we're very blessed to be in town. And I think that's a little piece of why the town means so much to me, is its faith in me to go forward and do some other things for them.
Absolutely.
But I think it's a fun time for me. I've led tours to Europe and had a great experience being a grandma.
Absolutely. And obviously, it's no wonder that you were asked to be one of the co-chairs of this committee. And just like 300 is quite a milestone, and it took a lot of effort to get the town to the place where it is today, and it's taken a lot of effort to get the 300th committee to where it is today. So can you tell us a little bit about, and I believe that either you or other members of the 300th committee have had the chance to be on the show before, but again, for those of you just joining us, can you tell them a little bit about when did this start, how much time and effort going back has gone into planning for the 300th?
So it's been over about 1 3 quarters.
Okay.
And we opened it up to the community and asked, do you want to come? Do you want to get involved? Sent out broadcast emails,
Yep.
put things on Facebook, so other social media platforms, getting people to step forward. When we've had interest in many levels, which is fabulous. We're still looking for people, if they're interested, that want to volunteer for a little piece.
Yep.
Say they want to come and help park cars, they want to come on one of our big events and they want to come and take tickets. You know, it could be something as small as that, but then there's still things that are much larger in scale if they'd like to participate.
Absolutely. And we'll get to all of that in just a minute. Have you enjoyed being chair?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing more fun than reuniting with neighbors, people you haven't seen in a long time. And, you know, you have special people at Community Voice Channel who have said that they're going to film a lot of the things for the 300th. And I'm poking them a little bit because I want them to do a show on their history.
Excellent. I've heard a little bit about that as well from you. I'm very excited. I hope that everybody at CVC is as well. So well, let's go ahead and dive in and talk about some of these events. There are so many. If you go on to the town's website, so you can find all the information about our events on the town's website. If you go on to bolton.govoffice.com, on the left-hand side, the very first tab that you'll see on that left-hand bar, it says Bolton 300th Anniversary. If you click on that, you can find all sorts of information about the events, about some of the pieces of merchandise that we're going to talk about. And on this calendar, and I've already removed the events that have passed in January, we still have 5 pages worth of different events that you can come be a part of and get your hands dirty with.
I guess I wasn't too shy in asking people, if you'd like to have an event, let's do it. Or take one of your existing events and put the tone around the 300th anniversary.
Absolutely.
And it's worked very well.
And celebrate Bolton.
Yes. Right. So January 1st, we had a walk in town. The Land Trust was wonderful. And there was 84 people that came. So it was that was a big turnout, we thought.
Absolutely.
We had also on the 15th of January, there was a wonderful piece done by our town historian on how the naming of your road and what the history was behind some of the road names, held at the library. And coming up, how many people have heard of paint night? Go to some establishment, perhaps have embellishments with some wine. But this is a little different one. We're going to have a paint day. It's going to be wrapped around the Winter Family Day.
Yep.
And it's going to be at Herrick Park on the 22nd
Yes.
of February. And if you want to come, there are going to be many outdoor events, but there's also going to be 2 opportunities that
Yes.
day for free to be able to come and to paint. And if you know the farm that people know as the Rose Farm, the Heritage Farm, the farm right behind Town Hall, the barn, many of those names, there are going to be 2 opportunities to come and do a 2-hour painting from adults down to age 8. They're asking 8 be a cutoff limit. To come and paint. So there's still a few spots left, and they can call the rec department at Town Hall. They can go online and sign up.
Absolutely, yes. The rec department, both of those options are perfectly fine. You're welcome to call, and we do have sign-ups already set up ready to go on the rec department's website. And those seatings are at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., and they are by reservation only. You will have to let us know in advance, and it's not just first come, first serve on the day.
But it's free.
But it is free, so please take advantage of it. We still have plenty of openings.
So there are lots of ways to make memories for the Bolton 300th. Many people might be interested in the fact that Bolton had an interesting heritage in that it wasn't just our 14.75 square miles. It also included Vernon when we were first established. And our name wasn't Bolton when we were first established. They first called us Hartford Mountains, and then they called us Hanover. And then when they petitioned Bolton to become an incorporation, an ecclesiastical society and an incorporation, there was a decision, and there was some popularity from the Bolton, England, and perhaps there's a question whether or not somebody knew the Earl of Bolton, and we became that town. So one of the things we know is that Vernon was part of Bolton until about 1807, and when they broke off because of problems back then, which was mud season, and if you think of the old roads that would have led up, their current roads today, leading up to Vernon being muddy, trying to come down to worship, trying to come down to vote, trying to come down and be part of the government was hard to get past the Bolton swamps, which is now Bolton Lakes. So we have a great little piece coming up March 1st at the Vernon Historical Society, and it's going to be talking about North Bolton, the early years. John Rowe has been a wonderful contributor to the 300th anniversary from Vernon. He's a historian, and he will be talking about Bolton and Vernon is North Bolton. We also have in March the Bolton Road Race on the 8th. We also have a fabulous speakeasy event. The PTA is going to hold a gala on the 21st, and the theme, Speakeasy at Villa Louisa, it's being held by the PTA, is just a cherished one because there's a long history of Villa Louisa's hushed discussions during the Prohibition, so we can talk certainly about that at some point. And the last part they're working on, the Historical Society is putting together a 100th women's suffrage event when women got the right to vote.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's quite a thing that 100 years of women's right to vote lines up perfectly with our anniversary right here in Bolton, so it's great to be able to celebrate both.
I was able to find out in doing some history as a state representative that Bolton, since 1920 to 2020, 100 years, has had 11 women represent them in the State House.
Excellent.
So we're looking at April, and the Center School has a great history of putting on a variety show. They will have one more this year, and it's going to be celebrating Bolton's 300th on April 3rd and 4th. You can call a school to get involved at the Center School. And on the 11th, 2 events at the Firehouse in Herrick Park. The Firehouse will be holding a breakfast with the Easter Bunny, and there will be the Easter egg hunt at noon at Herrick Park. On the 23rd of April, the library is celebrating, during Library Week, the anniversary, the 45th anniversary of the library, and they're bringing forward a special guest speaker, and that's the architect, Bolton native Alan Weedy, who was the designer of the library and two other facilities in town. That's going to be at 7 p.m. at the library. And there's a great opportunity for volunteerism on April 25th. So many people have heard of things called Christmas in April, and Manchester has a volunteerism opportunity in the spring to help out people in need, their homes in need in Manchester. Well, Bolton's going to have a Bolton Work Day called Build and Bloom in Bolton, and they're looking for volunteers on a one-day town-wide event to help people with some projects at their home. If you can wield as simple as a rake or a paintbrush to as complicated as an electrician or someone who can do some building. It'll be the 25th. It'll be a 9 a.m. start, and everything's going through the Senior Center. So please, if you're interested in volunteering for Build and Bloom in Bolton, get all my B's straightened, please call the Senior Center. We also, again, have this very expanded land trust with many members now, and inclusive Bolton and non-Bolton members, and they're going to hold a land trust passport. People who can go around town, there will be guidelines and so on and so forth, and you can stamp your passport with a stamp that you find somewhere specifically in the woods, and at the end of the season, it's going to be held between April and August. They're going to have a contest, and people will be eligible to win something special.
Absolutely. So be on the lookout for that. They will be kicking that off likely in April.
Absolutely. And you can follow the Land Trust website, Bolton Land Trust. We're going to have I believe it's the 14th annual art show, and the theme is Bolton 300th anniversary. It's going to be at Early New England Homes. It's sponsored by Bolton artists who are also sponsored by the Land Trust. And it will be the weekend of May 15th, 16th, and 17th, starting on Friday night. So please come and support your local artists. And there will be some art for sale, art to see, neighbors to visit with. And a percentage of the proceeds goes to the Land Trust. We know that we have a very special Memorial Day parade every year, which you'll enjoy this year for the first time.
I will.
And it's very solemn, it's very special on the morning of Memorial Day. It kicks off at 10 o'clock. And after that, again, is going to be the family day at behind the Bolton Center School and the Bolton Women's Club. We're very grateful to have them say that they will put that forward. So we have a couple more things, and I'm going to throw this back at you, because one of the great things when you stepped forward and came to us late summer, early fall, you had a couple of ideas for the Bolton 300th, and we jumped on it because we thought it was a great idea. Oh, by the way, and put you in charge.
Of course. So I can talk a little bit about this and then jump back in over in September, where we'll have another event that I'm taking the lead on. But first in May, so the performance for this is going to be on Saturday, May 30th, and it's a Bolton Theater Festival. So essentially what this is a coming together of folks from not just Bolton, but around the area. We'll be reaching out to local schools. We'll be reaching out to other senior centers. We're accepting people of any age to come together and who are interested in either writing, directing, or potentially acting in small one-act plays. And it's going to be flavored to the 300th by finding a series of props that are all pertaining to Bolton or its history or components of Bolton culture. And there's going to be a line. All of the writers, and there will probably be between 4 and 6, will be asked to include in their small 10 to 20 page one-act plays this line and all of the props that are assigned to them. So all of the scenes will have this string. They'll all be strung together through these connections. And this is going to be held at Bolton High School, and it's a 24-hour process. So writers will start the night before at a separate location. The next morning, directors and actors will take those one-act plays, and they'll get to work on getting them up on their feet and getting ready for a performance the night of the 30th. If you are interested in writing, acting, or directing, please contact me directly. And my email address is jkelly@boltonct.org. Or if you are interested in coming down to see a wonderful performance, please mark your calendars. It's going to be a great 24 hours.
Well, I think that's one of our great creative moments in town, and it will be at, again, 7 p.m. on the 30th at Bolton High School. Thank you for bringing that idea, because we need everything from creative personnel to audience participation.
Excellent. Yep.
So also on the 30th at 1 p.m. at Herrick Park, we're going to have something, and I'm going to touch very carefully when I say Antiques Roadshow. People know what that is. They've seen it on TV. Mm-hmm. If you have a treasure that some people will say it's trash in my house, and you think it's a treasure, you certainly, please pull it out. We're going to have something called Junk in the Trunk. Bring it forward. There will be, I believe, 3 or 4 skilled appraisers to come and look at what you have and see if there's something that is of value, or they'll look at it and say, oh no, oh no. But we have had experience in the past when Historical Society has run this before, and somebody has found a very valuable painting that they bought at a tag sale for $10, and it ended up being worth about $10,000. So there's always those exciting moments too. Mm-hmm. Thank you to the Historical Society for that at 1 p.m. On the 31st, we had a suggestion, and we're putting it together. People wanted to know, is there a way to go about town and take in some of the history? Yep. So we're organizing a trolley about town, getting one of those buses that looks like an antique trolley, and it will be on the Sunday the 31st. There will be 2 trips, one at 1 and one at 3:30. There are only 27 places on the bus, plus the commentator. So please call, again, but this is a small cost of $20 per seat, asking you to come and bring whatever photography equipment you want to bring with you and take pictures. We're going to talk about the historical sites in town. We're going to talk about some of the old homes in town and give a running commentary. So that should be a fun thing to get together with your neighbors and friends and historians from outside of town.
Absolutely. I'm very excited for that. I have to reserve my seat as soon as possible. Those are not yet live on the website, but we will let everybody know just as soon as they are.
That's coming, and that's the 31st of June after Memorial Day. In June, we had another very creative idea when we proposed the 300th to the different schools. What would you like to do? What is something that would incorporate a lot of the kids? Mm-hmm. They brought in a composer. Mm-hmm. And they worked with the schools, and the schools now have a special piece that they're going to be performing, and they're going to have sort of a Tanglewood on the lawn event at the school. It's going to be at the center school. It's going to involve the center school and high school, and it's going to be on June 1st. Yep. I'm careful to say this, with a rain date of the next day.
Yep.
And they're going to have the 300th Pops, they're calling it, Revolutionary Road, the title of the composed piece by composer Anthony Susi, made especially for the 300th. So bring your blankets, bring your chairs.
Yep.
It's going to be at 6:30 p.m. at Bolton Center School. On the 6th, our wonderful Bike Walk Bolton group is putting together a living museum tour on the trails. It's started on the 6th of June, 1 p.m. On the town trails, and there'll be more on that, exactly where they're going to kick
Yep.
off from. The 18th, John Rowe comes back, is going to come to Bolton now. This is our Vernon friend,
Yes.
the historian, who talks about North Bolton in the first event. Now he's coming to Bolton, and he's going to talk about the lower part, the early years of Bolton, the very early years of Bolton, at 11 a.m. That'll be on the 18th of June at the Senior Center. Now, everybody always loves when they think of a big anniversary fireworks. We scoured the town, we looked for sites, we tried to figure out if there was the perfect spot. And because of regulations and rules and wanting to be able to host as many people that would like to come with their families and friends, even from out of town, we've decided in working with the Hebron Lions Club that we will do it at the Hebron Fairgrounds in conjunction with their fireworks, and do a big theme of the Bolton 300th as well. The evening of the 27th, there will be food trucks. Bring your blankets and chairs, bring your friends, and there will be a number of activities for the kids beforehand. That'll be the evening, so I will get back to you on the opening of the doors, but it's usually late afternoon. Now I want to kick this back to you, because I think in July, one of the fun things that people never get to do is something that the town's going to put on.
That's right. So we're putting on a town facility open house where we will be opening the doors to every town facility. And we're also working with the schools to try and make that an opportunity for folks as well. But you're welcome to come into Town Hall, to the Notch Road Municipal Center, which I know is a school for many folks. It was an old school for many folks here in town. To our town garage to see some of the great equipment that we have. This will be a kid-friendly event, and this will be appropriate for all ages to come through to learn a little bit more about what it is we do in each of these town facilities, and to have some fun too. We're working on a few activities, I won't say too much right now, that will, much like I think a passport system though, that will try and get folks to every facility to learn a little bit more and potentially be in the running for some prizes. So, but more on that at a later date.
Well, I'd like to thank the town and the town employees for stepping forward to saying that they would like to do this.
Absolutely.
And it's not on a work day.
Yes, yes. This will be a Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we're very grateful for that.
So on August 26th, we have still a work in progress, the time and the place. We're going to have former Senator Mary Ann Hanley, who's also a retired professor. She's going to give a talk on the effects of the 19th Amendment had on Connecticut specifically. It's something that, a presentation that she's giving around the state this particular year. So that's still more to come on that. August 30th, we have the Farmers Market, which is an expanded one this year, on the from 9 a.m. to 1 on the town green. And there's some rumors that they're going to have some wonderful Civil War possible reenactors come, and so that's in the process as well. We're thankful to the Bolton Heritage Farm Commission working on that. If you've not been before, it's a one-day farmers market. Our local farms come forward, and we have more things than just fruits and vegetables. So it's part craft fair, part farmers market, and a wonderful antique tractor exhibition. So I'm going to throw this back to you for September, because the first thing we're going to do September 16th is something that you came up with, which I think will be a blast.
Absolutely. And I do want to keep this brief, and unfortunately we're going to have to jaunt through these a little quickly since we have 5 minutes left. But I know that you may be, and I'll volunteer you again to come on out and join us a little later in the year to talk about how things are going and to give us a little more detail on some of these events as they come forward. But on September 16th, we're planning on holding a Bolton Trivia Night that's going to be at Herrick Park. And I'm going to be working with anybody and everybody who's interested in giving me a few questions and answers that can be offered up at this trivia night, but especially the Bolton Historical Society, to make sure that there is a 100% Bolton-themed event, trivia night. There will be prizes available to the winning team, and more information about how to enter into that and rules will be coming in the near future.
Thanks. And, you know, I'd like everybody to take a look at the rest of the calendar that's on the website, because everybody likes to pencil in sometimes some of these on their family calendar or in their phone. There's a revolutionary music by the choir at St. Maurice's. There's going to be a speakeasy presentation by Stephen Thornton. We're going to have the big parade. Please mark your calendars for October 3rd and 4th, as well as a Revolutionary War reenactment, and we're looking for volunteers.
Multiple days.
Multiple days.
It's going to be a big event.
Friday night they're coming in, and they'll be Saturday and Sunday, so that will be held over at Heritage Farm. So we're certainly looking for volunteers that want to come and help out with that. Scarecrow contest, the Essex Steam Train Trip. We have a pumpkin carving contest, presentation on Squaw Cave, the Festival of Trees again, the Winter Fair, and of course the tree lighting in December. So we've gone through a ton of things that are going on in town, and I believe that there will still be some more things that are going to pop up over the year. So it's important that you keep yourself in the loop when you're following along through your wonderful website.
Absolutely. The last thing that I want to make sure we get to before we go is looking at some of the items that we have here in front of us. We have some great swag that's available. We have magnets, we have ornaments, we have mugs, we have a blanket, and we're going to have much more coming soon. So tell us a little bit about anything else that you want to mention, and where can we find some of these materials?
Well, we're thrilled in Bolton to have some items at the Senior Center, at the Town Hall, at the Town Clerk's office, as well as they can go into the First Selectman's office. Then they can get it at the library, and some things are at England's Hardware as well.
Excellent.
So we have some mugs and some blankets and a wonderful new ornament that was similar to the one done 50 years ago, designed by Alan Seaweedy, architect. And on the back side, it has the dates on it that you see up on the board, 1720 to 2020.
Yeah. Absolutely. I know that made an excellent Christmas gift for me to a bunch of other people this past year. So whether it's a gift, whether it's for yourself, please do come and take us up on this offer. All of the proceeds go to support the events that we're putting on, especially the reenactment, especially the fireworks that are some of our bigger ticket events. So thank you so much, Pam, for joining me today. I do also want to say that if anybody here, anybody watching today is interested in getting involved, we're still looking for volunteers. I know just for the Winter Fair Day that's coming up on February 22nd, we're looking for a number of people to help run activities. So you're more than welcome to come on down, join us. And the next 300th planning meeting is coming up just later this month. So you can check out the exact date and time for that on our calendar. That's on the front page of the website. It's already posted. And we have a few other things coming up that I want to mention quickly before we sign off. First and foremost, we are looking for individuals interested in being a part of a branding focus group. That's something that the Board of Selectmen is helping to kick off in this 300th year as a means of trying to help placemake and draw new business and draw some attention to the town. All very positive. And we're looking for people who have any sort of connection, of course, love for the town, connection to various businesses in the town, who have an interest in real estate, anything of that nature. So please feel free to send me an email, give me a call to get involved with that. The next Board of Selectmen meeting is tonight, February 4th at 7 p.m. at Town Hall. The next Board of Selectmen budget workshop is Tuesday, February 11th at 7 p.m. at the Senior Center. And the Charter Revision Commission is holding a public hearing that same night, Tuesday, February 11th at 7 p.m. at Town Hall. If you do want to go to the budget workshop, but really want to give some testimony at that public hearing, you are more than welcome to submit written testimony to the Charter Revision Commission. You can do that, go online, find out contact information on the website for Charter Revision or for my office, and all of that information will be compiled by that commission. So again, thank you so much, Pam, for joining us today, talking about the 300th. It's very exciting, and I hope that you all enjoyed.